Hey, Mindy, what's going on?
Hi, Dr. John. Thank you for taking my call. You know, I recently, I've always been like a really high achiever. I mean, really high. And recently the wheels have come off the bus, and I need some help. And I don't mean burnout because I've had burnout before, but this is different. This is really different. I just can't get back on the horse.
What happened? What
and I'm
knocked the
not
wheels
sure
off?
what to do. Well, I run marathons, and I've had injuries before, but I had a stress fracture when training for a January marathon. It occurred in November, and it's like it's been a domino effect. And I'm a super involved person. I work a high stress job in emergency services. I'm a mom to two amazing kids, a wife. I'm president of our PTA. I work with my church youth group. I mean, I am
You're
doing
so
it
awesome.
all.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I
and
love
then
it.
I get up super early to go run, and then, this break happens. Injuries are normal, but I don't know why. I just can't. It's like I lost all motivation for everything.
Yeah.
And it's not me. It's absolutely not me.
What if it is?
I'm sorry?
What if it is?
Oh, if it is me not to put my all into everything, no, that hasn't been me for 42 years.
What if, let me say it like this. What if finally your body's trying to get your attention and tell you the truth that all of those things are awesome and all those things that you're doing are valuable, and doing all those things at the same time are going to kill you?
I mean, that's really conflicting.
Why is that? Because who are you without all those things?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Mm,
Who told you that you are somewhere out there?
I guess myself.
No, somebody put that story in your heart and mind. That your value is in finish lines.
Oh,
Or,
I mean,
or grades.
probably my parents.
Or beauty. Or all these external things.
I mean, my whole family is really high achieving.
Okay.
I think it probably stems from that.
What's the rate of cancer and/or cardiovascular and/or autoimmune disease in your family?
Oh, well, autoimmune is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's a body trying to take you offline to keep itself alive.
Mm.
There's a point when exercise and training is stress. That's what it is, right? You're stressing your body, and it then gets stronger or faster. It adapts so that it can handle that stress again. And if you're training for something, you continue to put it under load. That's awesome. But any physiological minded coach and or like a trainer with expertise will tell you running a marathon's fine, but it's not healthy. It's not great for you. It's a thing you can do and achieve, especially if you build the right environment around it. But the number of folks that we read about, that I've sat with, who are high stress, high performers, who then get off work and go try to run a triathlon, and then get home and try to be super mom, and then try to get home and be super sexy, connected wife or husband, and then be super parent. That is a recipe for whoosh. And that tells me that somebody who has has outsourced their entire self-worth into metrics. external metrics. And so who's Mindy when things are just quiet? You're just sitting there by a fire with a book.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't even watch like movies or anything because I can't just sit there and do nothing. I have to be working on something at the same time. I don't think it's.
All right, I'm going to challenge you head on.
It's not part of my matrix.
Well, it has to be because your body's going to force you into it. In counseling, we call it leakage, which I know is a terrible a word, but it will find a way out. Either you can deal with it or it will find a way out. And usually it finds a way out at real inopportune times. But your body will eventually, if you're a strong-minded person, and especially somebody like you that is running from something, and the way to run from it is to achieve, and you've experienced this over the course of your life, there is no promotion. There's no dollar amount. There's no marathon time. All a PR does in your marathon is just set the stage for the next one. And the promotion just sets the stage for, all right, well, how do we get to the next one? And the dollar amount's like, cool, now we got 200,000, let's get to 3, right? So when you're outsourcing it that way, your body will shut you down. It'll override you because it has to. And so I'm going to challenge you to say sometimes the hardest work you can do, or let me put it this way. Let me give you an analogy that's in your world. You're running a marathon. Someone tells you this is a really challenging course. Do you just not run it? Or do you go find a place where there's hills and practice there? Which one of those paths do you take?
Oh, hills, of course.
Yeah, of course. What do you do for a living? Give me a broad context so you don't identify yourself.
I'm in emergency services.
Okay. So if
0 to 60 all the time.
That's right. So if a complicated emergency comes through the door and you run up to it and it's pretty tough, do you go, "Heesh, not even going to try on this one"? Or do you scrub up and go all in?
All in.
That's right. And so you know from your personal life and your athletic life that the challenge is the hard path is where the strength comes from, right? It's where growth happens. Mm-hmm. So for you, it's surveying your world and finding the hardest path. And so the hardest work you've got to do right now is learn to sit still with Mindy. And the same as I'll tell somebody, you've got to start moving. You have to start exercising. You got to start walking, at least. I'm telling you, you got to start sitting down and writing. You have to start sitting down and reading a book. You got to sit down and color with your kids. I don't care how old they are, by the way, even if they're teenagers.
Yeah.
And put music on and feel your body screaming on the inside that you need to go be productive. That's your path.
I feel uncomfortable even thinking
I know
about
you do. I know you do. But you have to see this conversation we're having is this same exact conversation I would have with somebody who's struggling with gambling.
Oh.
It's the same one. It's the same conversation.
I never put myself in that same category.
I know.
Wow.
Because if you're running from yourself or you're trying to duct tape over the fact that you don't love who you see in the mirror and you really don't trust anybody else in your life who tells you they do, if you drink too much, we send you to AA. Mm-hmm. If you do heroin, if you do an opiate to try to duct tape over it, we send you to jail. But dude, if you get a job in emergency surgery, emergency services, we'll give you $500,000 and we'll give you a gold medal for running a marathon that next weekend.
Yeah.
That's the demon. It's the same pathology. And I'm not telling you not to push it. I'm somebody who loves to push it. My friend Michael Easter calls it burning the ships. But instead of doing it every day, now I do it once a week. Sometimes once every 2 weeks. Can I let you in on a dirty secret about today?
Sure.
I slept in an extra 45 minutes and did nothing. No exercise. You know why? Because I needed it. I've been running too hard. And I felt like a loser. And I felt like I was full of crap. And I felt like a charlatan. And I let those voices do their worst. And then I went and did the next right thing.
I'm going to say that's exactly how I feel.
I know. You have any idea where that story started? Sometimes pulling the string all the way back to the origin helps. Just clip it.
I had a chaotic childhood.
Yeah. And you found chaos out of order and achievement, right? I mean, you found not chaos, but you found stability out of order and achievement.
And I think some escape. My mom was borderline. I have a brother who's bipolar, and my dad was in the military, so he was gone a lot. And being the eldest, it was my job to help.
No, it wasn't. It was your job to be the foundation. You weren't helping. You held it all together, Mindy. I've worked closely with people with borderline.
Yeah.
And one day you were the best daughter of all time. And it felt like you were covered in a warm blanket. And the next day, you're the worst kid that ever existed. And I can't believe you're my daughter. And that's a tough, tough way for a baby girl to grow up.
Yeah, and I think I have been overachieving since I can remember.
Yeah. Because the things you didn't get from home, you got from coaches, and you got from teachers, and you got from bosses, right?
Probably, and just the chaos of home. It was, no matter how hard an activity was, it was easier than being at home.
Yeah.
And
is your husband safe?
Oh, completely. My first marriage was not. I think you get drawn to chaos when you grew up in chaos.
Yeah, the way I don't describe it, it's the way all people who work with married couples describe it, is you marry your unfinished business. There's a part of your body that tries to solve what happened as a child with your adult relationships, and you just repeat the cycle.
Yeah, but luckily I tried to be a very good mom, and when I realized it was affecting my kids, I got out.
Good for you.
Like, my kids were in danger, and I got us out. And I've remarried to an amazing man who is nothing but supportive and kind. So I really lucked out this time.
Okay. Maybe you lucked out, or maybe you challenged yourself and did the next hard right thing, which is to break the cycle. And there's probably times you make it pretty hard on him to be even keel and safe and stable, right?
Me?
Does the chaos ever come out? You're like, no, I got it locked down, John. I got it locked down.
I mean, I think it comes out in me just probably not being as present as I should be, because I'm trying to do everything and be everything to everyone.
All right, so there it is.
I don't consider myself to be, at all angry or
No. I don't think you're angry at all. I think you're I think you're terrified of stillness.
Oh yeah, If anything, that's probably his biggest complaint, is we can't have a nice evening.
So here's what this looks like. Here's the exercise I want you and your husband to do together. Here's two sucky things for you, and I'm saying them with a smile on my face. You will not be healed through more activity, and you will not be able to do this all by yourself, which are two things that are going to haunt you for a while. You can only heal from this moving forward by practicing stillness and letting somebody love and care for you for real. Not just provide a home base so that you can launch out into the world again. And you're going to have to do this with somebody. And I know that sucks to hear.
Yeah.
But that's the truth. So here's the exercise. I want you and your husband to go out to a nice dinner. Actually, it's a nice breakfast if you could, because there's something different about the sun coming up and y'all can stay a little bit longer. And if you need childcare, cool, figure that out. But here's the exercise. In a fantasy world, what would we want our home to feel like? One random Thursday evening when both of us got home from work. What do I want it to feel like? Not what do we want it to
We're on
do?
vacation.
Where do we want it to be in 5 years? No. At our home.
No, I know. I mean, I want home to feel like you went to the best resort ever and stress-free, and you've got nothing on the agenda. I mean, that would be ideal.
Okay. So there's he has a great podcast. His name is Chris Williamson. And one of the questions he asks is not what do you want, but what do you want to want? Because what I want is more money and a new car and a bigger house. That's what I want. But what I want to want is peace. What I want to want is warmth and laughter in my house and my kids being goofy because they're kids and my wife giving me that side eye that lets me know like it's our little secret. And so what must be true for that to be real? That means I got to get off all the boards I was on.
Oh.
I know, but I can't serve them and be present in my home. And on and on and on. That means I had to cut my workouts back, which means I had to adjust my diet. Big freaking deal. And I begin to find peace not in collapsing from exhaustion, but I found peace from the inside out. Actually, I'm still finding it. I think I've talked about it on the show, but I had a counselor ask me once, after some really tough seasons, some hard work, she said, tell me what you're feeling like. And I said, I know this isn't clinically accurate, but I feel like I'm depressed. I feel like I'm just running low. And she smiled and she goes, that is what regular, normal life feels like. You've never felt it before. And that's what you're going to have to practice. So you're going to have to practice, Mindy. It's a new skill set. Honestly, you're not going to like this. I don't know a path forward for you without sitting down with a counselor of some sort, a therapist of some sort. Not forever. Not forever. Of course not forever. But just to practice some new skills. But I love the idea of sitting with your husband and saying, how do you want this thing to feel like and what must be true? When I get home, the phone goes in a drawer. I don't answer it. For 6 months, I'm going to try being on no boards. I'm going to resign my position on every board I'm on. Every time I lose somebody in my emergency job, I'm going to talk to somebody. I'm going to commit to it. Every time I do something in pediatrics with kids, I'm going to talk to somebody about it. I'm going to take 6 months off from marathon training, and I'm just going to heal. I'm going to go to PT and do yoga. And on and on and on. This is a long-term play. But the next hardest thing for you is not an adventure race and it's not a triathlon. The next hardest thing for you is peace. It's rest. It's coming to terms with the fact that your worth isn't out there. It's intrinsic. It's inside of you. And my goal is when you're 84, you look back, you can still roll around on the floor with your grandkids, and you want to. And you can get up and go for a run if you need to. But you can also just kick back and have a slow morning and have coffee and some pancakes if you want to also. It's about freedom and peace. Hang on the line, Mindy. I'm going to send you both of my books. We'll get you hooked up just as my gift. Call anytime. But have that dinner with your husband. Let me know how it goes.